B from 4 B from 4 Ps. Hey, B from 4 Ps.
So tonight is Shell's turn to host the podcast. Each week, a different one of us actually take the reins, whatever, and we decide what the topic's gonna be. For those of you that don't know, we are just a group of dumb shits with phones and a TikTok platform. We've been friends for over 30 years, and our friendship is so absolutely phenomenal that we decided to just make a podcast. So here we are. Go for it.
That's why I love you.
And I love you.
You're so good at this. I am not, and that's why we're talking about insecurities. And one of my biggest questions I have to ask my best friends is, number one, do you still have insecurities? And at what age do you think that they'll go away? And do you think they'll ever go away? And what are they? So.
Wow, that was a
lot.
It's
like what I've been thinking of. I'm like, I feel insecure about certain things. And I thought when I got older they would go away. They haven't. So I'm like, is there an age? And how is that going to happen? Is it going to happen? So I just wonder. I've never actually talked to you guys about that.
Dan Zango, that's not this kind of live. We're not inviting people to co-host.
But
we
we
are
love
the
you
hosts.
watching though.
But we love you.
The support.
Feel free to ask questions.
Yeah, ask questions.
So, I mean, at this point, 49, going on 50 this year.
I know, where did the time
You
go?
keep outing us.
Like,
I think,
yeah.
though, because, you know why? Because I'm proud of it. I am absolutely proud
So
of
that's
it.
not an insecurity
That's
for you.
not an
That's not an
insecurity for me.
insecurity.
Because, are you kidding me? Like, to be out there living loud at 49 and being, like, owning it and being like, damn right, I'm almost 50. Mm-hmm. I'm almost 50, and you know what? I love every minute of it.
How do you get to that point? Like, what goes in your head to make it be like, I'm proud, I'm happy? Like, what have you trained your brain to think that way?
I think I just stopped caring what other people think, because that's just a reflection of their insecurities on you, or things that you see in other people that you judge harshly.
You've told me that.
Right. You judge harshly.
Yeah.
And therefore you think everybody is judging you harshly.
Yeah.
Right? So I just love the shit out of
do you have a zero insecurities?
Oh no, of course I have insecurities. I mean, like, I fight them. Like obviously I've had 5 kids. I could use the tummy tuck, but you know what? I told myself, put it on his forehead. Put it on his forehead. He's gonna love that shit.
Put it on his forehead.
I mean, I'm just being honest with you.
Have you done
love that
Have
shit.
I put it on his forehead?
No. Maybe. Put it on his forehead.
Maybe.
I need a t-shirt. Immediately.
Put it on his forehead.
That's the kind of confidence I need.
Oh my
Here you go.
I mean, well, anybody who expresses interest in you, I mean, you have eyes, you can see. I'm a curvy girl. I'm a curvy girl. I've had 5 kids. I have stretch marks. I've had twins. My stomach is stretched out. You know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. Put it on his forehead. Ladies, put it on his forehead.
Freaking
He'll
love
like
that.
it.
I love
Anytime I think about any insecurities, I'm just gonna say, put it on his forehead.
Yeah. I like it.
We need
like
to get
that.
new merch that says put it on his forehead.
Yes, that's what I really think. Next live, we all need to have t-shirts, cups.
Yeah.
For that 5K we're gonna do, just put it on his forehead.
And mine's gonna be like walk it and then put it on his forehead.
I love it.
So what's your insecurities?
Me?
Yeah, it's your turn. You asked me.
Gosh, they're endless. And that's the problem I have, because when I was younger, I had insecurities because I was really tall. I was was very thin. I got teased a lot for being tall, for being anorexic. So I was already at a very young age very insecure about how I looked. And then after I had kids, I got a little bit curvy, but I still had that like in the back of my head that I'm too tall. That always stuck with me. And I remember you and I went to Hawaii. I was feeling beautiful and confident. We went to a club. And the first
In all
guy,
fairness, no, that club's ceiling was like only 9 feet, like maybe 8 feet.
as soon as we walked
You
in,
did
he was
good.
like, "You look like a effing damn giraffe." And I was feeling confident. It was just a random guy, and I felt beautiful, and it just like shot me down because of my height again.
Yeah.
And then as I've gotten older, I've gotten like curvier and then gained more weight. So for me, my biggest insecurity is the weight because I was too skinny, then too big, and I've just had people make comments, and I've also had people say great things for me, but it's been a huge insecurity is my body image, listening from women and men about stuff, because when I was younger, the women would say like, oh, you know, you're anorexic, you look too skinny, you look sick, and then the men would say I'm too big or I'm too thin or whatever, you know what I mean? I think when I was skinnier, the women would talk more trash, and when I was bigger, the men talked more trash. So
I think too, in today's society, women are held to such outrageous expectations and beauty standards that, you know, it's impossible for anybody to not feel insecure. Like just how you got, you're too tall, you're too thin. I got over-sexualized because at 11 years old, I'm running around with a C and a D cup and hips, you know?
Right.
So here I am, 12 years old, and I'm being constantly sexualized to the point where I'm very modest and I'm making sure I'm always covered up, and you know, so it's ridiculous what society does to us as women instead of just letting us be who God meant us to be.
And I think at the beginning it made me feel like men were judging me. And now over time as I've gotten older, I feel like it's women as well as the men. So it just makes it so much harder to try to feel beautiful when I feel like nothing is gonna make me feel confident enough. So that's why I'm just wondering, like, at like what age do you like, you don't care what people think? Do you feel beautiful? Are you happy with the way that you look? Like, does that ever happen?
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does, no. I mean, I feel like I'm getting closer to being more secure with myself, but I'm the opposite of Nick. Like, I did the things to try to improve myself because of the insecurities, but it didn't work. Like, it helped me feel better about certain things. Like, for instance, when I was young, I didn't have any boobs.
Yeah.
Like, I had like an A cup.
Yeah.
Like my whole, and you probably remember my whole
I
high
do,
school.
but you seem so confident with it. You were like, anything bigger than a mouthful.
Right. Well, that's
You seem like you have so much
anything bigger than a
confidence
mouthful
with it.
is a waist, but that's no longer my outlook. That was my outlook when I had little itty bitty boobs.
Look, that's still my outlook. So let's just own it for a moment. Just own it.
So the moment I had my first kid and I started breastfeeding, I was like, whoa, shit, this is what boobs are like? Like, I love this. Like, this is what I've always wanted. So I tried to breastfeed as long as possible. You know, and then I got pregnant again, and I'm like, oh, breastfeeding is the way to go. But now, okay, so now I have a little bit bigger boobs because I have milk in them, but then the baby stops drinking, the milk disappears, and then now the boobs like kind of deflate a little bit.
Yeah.
So I had surgery, you know, to take away my insecurities. Did they take away my insecurities? Probably not, you know, but they helped me feel better about myself in a shirt. However, I've done multiple surgeries because I went and got a breast augmentation, had it for many years, loved it, adored it, jacked up, and went and had another surgery because my doctor was like, oh, your headaches are from your big boobs. You probably should remove the implants. So I said, okay, doc, I'm gonna remove the implants as long as I'm still gonna have boobs.
Yeah.
And the doc was like, you're gonna have big boobs. You're still gonna have like a C cup when we remove these implants. So I'm like, I'm all for it. No implants, C cups, anything is better than what I've, A cups or whatever. And so I went through with everybody telling me, don't do it, husband, don't do it, kids, don't do it. But I'm like, no, this is for me. I want to do this for myself.
I was going to ask, is it an insecurity for you or for somebody else?
No, it's an insecurity for me.
Yeah.
Like, because I just feel more comfortable wearing clothes that I have. I feel like it balances out my body a little bit better.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't have no boobs, but I had a little bit of hips and thighs and not too much, butt, but I felt like it balanced it out. After I came out of surgery, I had nothing. Like, I was botched. I had nothing. The doctor swore I'd have a full C cup, and I had a double D's with my implants. So once I got them removed, I'm like, full C, perfect. Took off my bandages, had smaller than I had in high school. Like, they were like smaller. And now I have scars.
Yeah.
So now my insecurity is scars. So I feel comfortable in my body now. I went back to the doctor and said, Doc, you jacked me up. What's up? You jacked me up. He goes, we took out more tissue than expected. We got to put implants back in so you're healthy, you're safe, you feel good about it, you're comfortable. And I had to go in and get double the size of implants that I had the first time just to make them where they are today, which is smaller than they were previously. But I'm happy with them today. They're fine. My scars are disappearing. I'm fine with it. I love my breasts. But it's still a big, huge insecurity for me because I started out, then I got botched, and then I had no boobs, and then I went back to boobs. Now I have scars, but the scars are going away, but it's still, still an insecurity for me.
So, a question I have for you, because you're the only one in a marriage or a relationship out of all of us. And your husband is a great husband, and he loves you, like, no matter what. Do you feel like if you were single, would you feel more insecure because you're looking for a relationship and you have to be vulnerable to judgment?
Yes.
That's a really good question.
That is a good question. Yes. Like, I'm comfortable, me and my husband are comfortable, but if I was single, I would definitely probably be more insecure, more uncomfortable. Just because, like, all the things you say now is true. Like, girls look at you and say stuff, guys look at you and say stuff, or they're very sarcastic. They say things to you that hurt your damn feelings. And that makes me insecure. But also at the same time, I mean, it's hard to think back when I was single, like 23 years ago. When I wanted to go meet somebody, I'd just go meet somebody. I didn't feel like, when I was single, I felt like, I'm young, I'm just gonna go do it. I mean, I was out there doing it.
Yeah.
I was out there doing it.
She was.
Always, in my opinion, I always felt like you were very confident and you didn't have an issue with it. I was definitely like more insecure, more reserved. I loved you guys and I respected how you guys felt. And I wish I could be that way. So I'm just wondering, like, over time, how it's changed with relationships and being single and getting older. Like, how do you get to that point of feeling like, I don't care?
Oh, don't ask me. Shit. I haven't figured it out.
I mean, I always care. But I think the big thing for me that helps my insecurities, because I have a lot of them.
And I would never know that about you. Being my best friend.
Yeah.
I would have never known that you were insecure. I always thought that you were very, I want to go there, sexually confident and body confident.
I am when I get put out there, but it takes a lot for me to, like, hype myself up.
Yeah.
To get out there.
Okay, so what do you do to get that point to hype yourself up? That's why I want to know, like, how do you bring yourself out of those insecurities?
I have
and be
to
like,
just tell
I love myself.
That's what I do. I love myself. I'm about to be 50 years old. I'm gonna put on this bathing suit and I'm gonna fucking rock it. I'm gonna go.
Which you do.
Or
You do
I'm
every
gonna.
time.
I'm going to not put on this swimsuit and take off these clothes and I'm gonna fucking rock it.
You're a nudist.
And that's
though.
what I like being naked. I like being naked. Like,
She likes
empty,
Do you like being naked?
empty nesting has been the best
Yeah,
thing.
I know. You've always liked being naked. Do you like being naked?
No.
Do you like being naked?
No.
But you know what? I think for me, so my husband is amazing when it comes to my insecurities. He's always telling me, like, you're beautiful. Your body's a fucking amazing. And I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he'll come over and he'll hug me and he'll touch me and then I'll be like, okay, my body is amazing. He loves it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's him making me feel better. But I still have the insecurities. But I like being naked. I'm gonna walk around naked with my kids here. I'm gonna walk around naked with my mom
You're
here.
a naked
I'm
mom.
gonna walk around naked.
I had a naked mom. Y'all
See,
know.
I need her
Y'all
confidence.
know
I
I
need her
have a
confidence.
naked
It's
mom.
crazy. I need her
No.
confidence.
But you also have to understand, like, those insecurities, like, I'll take it another step. After I had my last kid, I was like, I had one stretch mark, and I was like, nope. And I got the stretch mark the day of birth. The day I gave birth, and I gave birth a month early.
Wait, you paid attention to your body that much? You knew the day you got a stretch mark?
I got it the day I gave birth. There was
You
no,
noticed?
when I'm rubbing and I was like, wait, what? In the mirror, like, what? What the heck is that? And one little one. And I had surgery to fix it. I have insecurities.
Oh.
But guess what? That made it worse because now I have a scar.
Oh.
What's better? One little
stretch
stretch mark
or scar.
or a whole entire scar from a tummy tuck.
Yep.
Like, I did that 20 years ago, so now my scars are disappearing and I can cover them with the swimsuit. But again, my husband has been amazing. He told me, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But if you're gonna do it, I got your back.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna do it for yourself, do it for yourself.
Tell us again,
But-
where do we find a husband like him?
Yeah, no,
Right?
so I think though you chose well, you're dealing with 3 women who have insecurities that were brought on by the people who we were with,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So
For me,
like,
for sure.
yeah,
For you?
I mean, it depends on because I have different insecurities. So yes, I have some relationship insecurities and that, like, I don't trust myself anymore to make good choices. But then my body ones are also like, I know, because it's hard to talk about because I don't want to cry.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to cry.
Yeah.
But then other ones, like, I'm literally the bionic woman. I'm like, I probably would walk around my house naked if I had something to hook my pump to. And then that also brings, like, intimacy insecurities because I literally have durable medical equipment on
So
my body.
for people
That's,
that
like,
don't know, she has
vulnerable.
type 1 diabetes, so she wears a pump.
Yeah. That's this, which everybody...
we can get you a Love Island belt.
Shut up, bitch!
no,
We can get you a Love Island belt.
honey,
We're gonna give you a
you
Love
would
Island
just
belt.
put it on his head. Just put it.
Here, babe.
Like, can you hold this? Can you hold
Can you
this?
hold this? But then it's like, too, then I have, like, my sensor on my arm, and it's like, oh, don't grab me there. Don't. And then, like, they're like, well, is it okay? Does it hurt? Can I touch? Like, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So for me to get that comfortable with another human takes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insecurities.
Insecurities.
Do y'all have any insecurities?
Yeah.
Like, let us know what your
Thank you,
insecurities
Tara.
are. We'll talk about it.
So at what age do you remember feeling insecure?
Oh,
I
The
was
first time.
insecure very much so as a teenager.
Like what age? Like 13?
12 years old.
12? So preteen.
12 years old. My period started at 12 years old. My body started changing at 12 years old. Never got boobs, but body started changing, got hips, got a little, belly fat.
Yeah.
And so I've been insecure. I always looked at you like, God, I wish I was skinny like her.
Right?
Really?
And tall.
Skinny and tall.
Yeah.
Everything.
never
I was
thought that way.
always looking at you like, oh my gosh, Michelle is so skinny. I wish I could be Michelle.
Yeah.
What?
I would feel so much
Yeah.
more comfortable in my skin if I looked like Michelle.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that. Do you know, my whole life, especially when I was very thin in grade school, people teased me and said that I was anorexic, I didn't eat, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, and they compared me to people. And I wanted to be like thicker. It was very, very hard for me. So for you to say that, I never knew that anybody thought that what I looked like was a good thing. I always felt like it was I always felt like it was a very bad thing until
You've always
I
been
had
drop dead
kids.
gorgeous.
I never felt that because
People,
People-
hair,
I was gonna say,
especially
your
your
hair.
hair.
What? Right?
I've never
I
had
have
good hair.
for your hair.
I have never had good hair, and I always looked at you.
And
I always
her
looked at
eyes.
you, and I always looked at you. I'm
Right.
like, hair,
Yeah.
I
skinny.
used to have hair.
That
so
was
why don't people, if you thought that, I love you guys.
Yeah.
But why didn't you ever tell me?
I told you all the time.
No.
I don't
I
know.
always tell you you're a bad bitch.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, when I was very young, no woman or girl, because we're young back then, ever told me, I wish. Like even Avea, my daughter, is dealing with that right now. People tease her for being tall and thin, and call her the same names that I got called. And my heart breaks for her.
Yeah.
And hearing you guys say that now makes me feel like amazing, but it didn't help me back then.
Yeah.
You know, and I felt my biggest insecurities. I'll never forget. In 7th grade, I was on cloud nine. It's my best school year ever. I had a ton of friends. I was doing very well over at Parrish. I just had a great time. But in 8th grade, a friend of ours started teasing us, or teasing me anyways, about being too tall, too thin, flat-chested, not curvy, never kissed a boy, didn't start my period, and was like making jokes. So my 8th year, I remember sitting in the bathroom eating my food on the toilet
I did
by
that.
myself.
I
I
mean,
did
who
that
hasn't done
sophomore
that?
year.
Seriously?
Sat in the bathroom and cried.
100%. I
Yeah.
did it in
You did
ninth
it
grade.
too?
We
Yeah.
all sat in the
So-
bathroom and cried.
Nobody
Yeah.
talks
Yeah,
about
nobody talked.
So I remember I just moved here from Hawaii, and my cousins, the Slaters, were pretty well known at McKay. One of my cousins was like the quarterback of the football team. Another one was, on the cheer team, and then they were kind of bragging that their cousin was moving from Hawaii, who was a model and all this surfer and all this kind of stuff, right? So when I got there, I had so many insecurities because and Tara, you understand this, coming from Hawaii to the mainland is a culture shock. We literally lived in flip-flop and Billabong surf shorts and tank tops. You went to school with your swimsuit underneath your school clothes because you were gonna throw your bag down and hit the beach. That's just what it was. So I had no clothes. I had no anything, and when I walked in, I'm walking in wearing cousin's clothes, and I remember being surrounded by the cheerleaders and oh, you're so-and-so's cousin, so you're hanging with us. You're gonna be on the cheer team, and it was everything that I was like, fuck you, I'm what? No, I picked my own friends, thank you. And then they just decided to mean girl me. And they mean girled me so hard that I used to go and I would get my stuff and I would go into the girls' bathroom, sit in the stall, and just eat lunch. And then the boys were even worse because they sexualized me so hard that, I had to be a slut. I was in 9th grade and I'm a virgin from Hawaii.
Right.
We're typically a little more naive in Hawaii. You're young for a lot longer there, right? So I'm being called a slut because I have big boobs and I'm curvy and half my
But you have
clothes
no
are
control?
crop tops
Right,
because
right.
I'm from Hawaii. I got mean girled so hard. That's one of the reasons why I went to South.
I had no idea.
Yeah, what I missed 86 days of that school year. That's how I learned how to cut school. Yeah, they mean girls me hard.
Oh my gosh.
And so there is people that in our 20s that we would go to a club, and they were part of that little mean girl clique from back in the day, that all of a sudden wanted to friend me. Yeah, I've known you since like freshman year. Oh my God, I missed you. I'm like, bitch, you tortured me.
We are not
I think there
friends.
was like
You tortured me.
like to your point of like, why didn't you guys say that back then? I think, at least I feel like for me, when we were in high school and during that time period, girls weren't super complimentary, and it wasn't something that we did with each other. I didn't really start complimenting other women until I was like older, and I was out in Portland one night, and bathroom culture hit me, and all the girls were in the bathroom like, oh my God, you're so pretty, I love your dress, oh my God, where did you get that bag?
Yeah.
Something shifted from like these mean girls and like everybody looking at each other some type of way or wanting to fight somebody like simply because they were pretty, to like this older shift in mentality where like now if I go out for a night, I want to go to the bathroom because it's literally like a compliment fest.
100%.
Like, yeah, one girl's holding another girl's hair in the bathroom while they're like, girl, you're still beautiful, it's fine, it's alright, I love you, you're gorgeous, you queen. And then the other girl's like,
him.
where did
And
you get those
I'm sure
shoes?
because we
Like,
have girls that are
we
that age.
have daughters.
and I
that-
listen to my daughters talk
Yes.
about when they go to the bathroom
Yes.
and they like build up the confidence.
Yes.
Like, you don't need him. I've got you. I'll hold your hair back.
Right?
I'm
Like-
here for you. I'm like, when we grew up, it would be
No.
like, bitch, you did that to yourself. Like,
Yeah, it
We're-
was
we're
so
gone. We gotta be
different.
our own.
hair.
for each other, yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about a complete stranger.
No, now like no, you meet like those are all your new best friends, and you have no idea who they are.
No, I mean like my girls
Everybody's,
would come
like,
at back
knocking each other.
110%, but I'm talking
Well,
about
yeah, like
strangers because
no, strangers didn't do
Because
that.
your girls are always gonna say you're beautiful, you're great,
Yeah.
I love you. Like we all know that you have the best hair.
Oh, B had the best hair.
We
I
talked
mean,
about it all the
I
time.
obviously got
We all sat around just drooling like.
Yeah. B was our real life Barbie. She was our Barbie
yeah,
doll.
like you were absolutely freaking drop dead gorgeous. I would sit there and I'd
Hair
watch
to her butt that
curling
was
your
so
hair,
thick.
Yeah.
so cute, beautiful little body. And I was
Right?
like, I want that.
She had a big booty.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. You
And see,
did.
that's how I like felt about your hair and your body and the way you look.
See, I didn't even feel that way because I didn't know how to curl my hair. I didn't know how to do my makeup. I didn't know how to style myself.
You have like this
I have
natural
fake ass
curly
friend
hair,
here. You're
these
not
big
one of fucking
green
natural
eyes,
beauty.
and like nobody has
a
green
natural
eyes.
beauty. I wanted to be like everybody else.
And see, and we wanted to.
I just wanted to wear like I just wanted to wear crop tops and stuff like
Yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah.
When I lived in Hawaii, I wear tank tops, but I didn't wear crop tops.
all the
But I
fucking
did
guys
wear
love
swimsuits.
you.
But my mom worked at a swimsuit shop, so I had swimsuit on
yeah.
swimsuit on
Yeah.
swimsuit.
Nice.
I had one piece, I had two pieces, I had thong bikinis,
You know
and
what?
I rocked them all.
I have to tell you, I think that your confidence with your body came from your mother. You
my
had a
husband-
very confident mother
Yeah.
that taught that to you.
Yeah, she was
I think
always
so.
naked.
Yeah.
I had a
Yeah.
naked mom, and she
My
didn't
mom was
teach me
naked.
that.
Yeah.
My
Really?
mom was
Your mom walked
naked
around
and she
naked?
traumatized
You don't
me.
remember my mom? My mom was always.
I remember one time actually. I do remember
always
one time.
naked. And I think
But
that's
the
why
difference
I
is
was a
you
really
were
modest
downstairs
mom,
and
so
she
it
was upstairs.
embarrassing. Because my mom would be naked in front of my friends, in front of like y'all were her kids too, so you might as well, she was a naked
Yeah, but that
mom.
was, I mean, we're used to seeing naked moms.
Yeah,
So it was
yeah.
just like, oh, you're a mom too, huh?
I think that's like definitely something of our generation. I didn't know that you were a naked mom because it was traumatizing for me. I didn't need to see all that, so I wasn't a naked mom.
Was she
And
traumatizing when your friends were there or just when you were there?
I feel like
Anytime. Nobody
I
wants
didn't want to
their
see
mom's
all
butt.
that, even when I was by myself. I didn't want to see all that. Like, put some panties on. Girl.
Like just walking around the house or like in the shower?
No, she walks around to this day. She walks around.
I love
And
it.
my daughters are like, Mom. But they've like, as they've gotten older, like that's just who she is. And I think it was really common for moms, like of our generation, to be naked moms, which then in turn became
See, my mom
naked
was
grandmas.
not. My mom couldn't even talk about period, a bra, panties, nothing. My mom was very, very conservative and reserved, so I couldn't talk about anything or like.
Oh, we didn't talk about it.
I couldn't even see it. I still
I
remember
didn't
to this
talk
day.
about anything.
I still remember to this day. My sister was probably 8, and I was in the living room with my mom, and my sister came out of the bedroom, and she was watching a TV show that we were watching together. It was Roseanne.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was, what's the daughter's name?
Oh,
The 2 daughters?
Becky and who was the other daughter?
Younger one.
I don't remember. Darlene?
Darlene came out and she said,
If I remember
Mom,
that.
she said, Mom, I started my period. Right? So
Yeah.
they were talking. My sister comes out. She goes, Mom, what's a period? And my mom said, go to your room.
No way.
Oh God.
Oh,
Go to your room.
Oh, wow.
We could not talk about. My mom never took me bra shopping. Like,
Really?
nothing. So maybe that's where my insecurity comes from.
Yeah.
My body is because it's shameful because you can't talk about periods and boobs and bras and underwear. Like,
Yeah.
it was just very different. Which
That's
it was so different with you guys.
My mom was always trying to get me out of clothes. She was trying to like put me in the skimpiest outfits and you have such a cute figure.
I was gonna say, like, your
Like-
figure was literally 10 out of 10. I was
she
envious.
she was always trying to show it. You know,
Yeah.
but
I
at the
was
same
so
time, you want to
envious
hear,
all the
okay,
time.
so this is where my body insecurities started. When I was 12 years old, I used to model out in Hawaii.
Mhm.
And when I first started modeling, literally, like, I'm 5'3" and a half.
Mhm.
That is not a good height for a model. In Hawaii, I'm tall, right? But in the modeling industry, modeling world, that wasn't a great height for a model.
Mhm.
And so I literally would stand there while they measured me and they told me, okay, so you need to lose, I was 93 pounds. They said you need to lose 2 inches off your waist, you need to lose an inch off your hips, and you need to get a nose job. You want to talk about body insecurities when you're 12 years old? They said, we're going to book you on shoots. You're going to get business. You're going to get booked on shoots. But you will never go anywhere unless you do these things. And I'm like 93 pounds. Like, you don't tell a 12-year-old to lose 2 inches off their waist. You freaking have them model 12-year-old appropriate things. You don't try to make them look like they're 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I know my older girls, when they've been modeling, they've actually pretty much are not modeling anymore because they're too big. And you guys know my daughters are very small.
Yeah.
Tall and thin.
And they're too big.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's just, it's crazy
Yeah.
what they expect us to look like. And
Yeah.
but at the same time, that's what the model industry wants us to look like. But and then reality, then our peers make fun of us for being too thin.
Mhm.
But then also idolize the people that are too thin.
Mhm.
You know, it's just like, I feel like it's a losing battle. Like, we'll never win. Like, we're never gonna be accepted for the way that we look. So
That's
we have
why
to,
you gotta
we have
love
to
you.
accept ourselves.
That's
That's what I was
what
gonna
I
say.
love you.
That's what
We
we have
gotta
to
love
figure out.
ourselves
You gotta
before
love
somebody
you.
else
So it
loves
goes
us.
back to that question, like, how do you get to the point where you don't care
I can tell you.
about what people think or say about your body? Like, how do you look in the mirror and say, I love every fat, small, tall, short, wrinkly, stretch mark,
I can tell you.
ugly part of yourself?
100%. I can tell you the moment it happened. Or not, it wasn't an instant. It was a change,
Yeah.
right? It was a new learned behavior.
Yeah.
Was Justice, Bear, Bear, I have twins. Bear is one of the twins, and she is a curvy girl. She's voluptuous.
Beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. But we were sitting there and we were getting ready to go do something. And she brought out, like, I had like a little crop top and like flowy pants or something like that. And we were getting ready to go somewhere, and she's like, oh, come on, Mom, you could just go like that. And I said, oh, no, honey. I can't be out in public like this. I'm too big. And she goes, Mom, are you serious right now? And I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, you teach me to be confident, to love my curves, to live out loud, and to love who I am, and to wear what makes me happy and what makes me comfortable. How am I supposed to do that when my own mom can't do that? And I was like, all right, we're rolling out of here in a crop top. What am I gonna do? Because I literally had my daughter begging me to be comfortable in my body and my beauty and who I am, so that she could learn how to be that person. And I was like, oh, you're right, 100%. 100%. Let's wear a freaking crop top.
Isn't that crazy how, like, a kid, your child, can help you or inspire you in that way? Because I used to do everything in my power to hide my pump. Like, I had a leg strap, so like previously, like, if we were sitting here, like I have on a shorter shirt, I would have my pump like strapped to my leg, or somewhere like where basically nobody would see it. But my nephew became a type 1 diabetic when he was only 7, and he had a whole he just wore that shit out. He'd run around with it in his hand, and like, this little kid never showed any shame, and he didn't know any different. Like, he was never insecure in it. And so I'm like, if my nephew can do it, and my nephew's now 16, like, if he can do it and he can like live out loud and be proud of it and be like, so, and like, yeah, I have a pump, and like, then I'm like, okay, I should set a good example for him and not show him any shame in it, because there isn't anything to be ashamed of.
And nobody's really looking at your pump, just so you know. They're looking at that bump.
Right.
But
Nobody cares about your pump.
it's crazy how a kid, though, can like change your perspective on something when you're like, I'm the example. I'm the one that they look up to, so I have to, step up and do it. I'm still a little insecure in it, but I do it because, like, do it for him.
How about you guys out there?
Yeah.
Any insecurities? What do you guys want to talk about?
If I'm like staring and squinting in this direction, it's trying to.
We had it actually up on the TV, so that
I'm
we
like
can
trying to
actually
read
see your guys' comments or anything like that.
If you just joined, we're talking about insecurities. Any kind of
Yeah.
insecurities that any
Yeah.
of us have,
It could be
from teenage
anything.
to now.
So what about with aging? I know one of my biggest things is the bags under my eyes and this forehead stuff and the wrinkles.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have insecurities. I did a whole mini facelift. Well, not a facelift. What do they call it? A thread lift.
Okay, so that's what I want to ask. Like,
yes, I did a
because
thread
my
lift.
insecurities sometimes aren't because of what other people think about. It's about what I want to feel about myself.
Yeah.
So what are the beauty hacks that you guys
Yeah.
do to make yourself feel more beautiful? Like, I did have Botox one time a year and a half ago, and I was not happy with the results at all.
Yeah.
Cost over $500. Wasn't happy with it. But so I want to know, like, what are the secrets to get rid of the stuff that make you feel?
Yeah, I was gonna say that was 100. Nobody ever said like, "Hey, Brandy, you have jowls, or you have these wrinkles, or you're nobody And the person, my ex-husband at the time, like he never ever was like, "You're looking old," or "I don't find you attractive anymore," or whatever.
Right.
It was strictly for me. I didn't like those things, and so I did research, and I had a thread left where basically they place in dissolvable threads, so they should be dissolved by now, because it was like over a year and a half
So
ago.
give more explanation, because I don't know about that. Like, what do you mean threads?
They're like dissolvable threads that they
Like string.
put, like string, like
Wow.
a thread, like they.
Like a sewing thread.
They thread,
Like,
and it goes up.
when
So
you're
it
awake?
like came in here. I was
you're numb.
fully awake
Okay.
and numb, but that shit hurt like hell. Would I do it again? Absolutely.
Okay, so tell me more. So when you're
So you go in or whatever.
Okay.
They like numb you up and they place the thread. So you can also do a neck lift. I only did the face.
Okay.
And so my threads were like here. Like, can I feel the knot? The knot's gone. Where it like ended here. And then I think the other thread was placed like in here. So I had like after surgery, I had like a little like tied knot outside of my skin, like
So the
thread. Like
threads
you would
stay?
tie a knot. Yeah, the threads stay in, and then your muscle grows around the threads to lift up. So the thread's lifting up while it's in there, and then as time goes on, your like muscles growing around that. And then they also put something in there that like promotes the growth of collagen.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of it's lifting. Like you don't, like they tell you not to expect to see full results until a year after surgery, which I'm about a year and a half out now. So I did the thread lift, and then I also did fat grafting. So basically they can take fat, like they do a little liposuction, not like a full lipo if you were really trying to remove fat from an area, but they either do it in your stomach or like your thighs. They did mine, they took the fat out of my inner thighs, and then they like spin it down and make it all clean, and then they inject it into like your hollow pockets. So like I had fat grafted back into my face, so that like is me, like, and it just naturally absorbs over time or whatever. But I was really happy with my results, and I feel like the expectations were realistic. So they were like, you're not gonna walk out of here and like, people aren't gonna be like, oh, she had plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Like, people are just gonna be like, gosh, you look really good today.
Yeah.
Like maybe like
You slept
refreshed.
well last night.
You
Refreshed.
slept well. You look refreshed.
Yeah.
And then after that, I did 8 weeks of like this laser treatment on my skin to like help with my skin and like microdermabrasion. And then after that, they were like, do you want to sign up for 8 more weeks? And that was like gonna be like over $2,000. And so I did research and I bought my own microdermabrasion machine and my own laser.
So maybe
And
you
so
don't
I
share this. I'm just
maintained.
curious, how much did that cost to like?
So
Right.
for the thread lift,
Yeah.
the fat transfer,
Yeah.
and the 8 weeks of treatment, it was
Yeah.
$10,000.
Okay.
And I financed that shit.
And it was
So
worth it.
I would do it again.
Okay.
I would do it. It made me feel good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know how it would all look had I not kept, like, I do microdermabrasion every single week. I do the laser treatment every week. I whiten my teeth.
Yeah.
Had I not kept up with those other things, I don't know if I would still be as satisfied, but like, I'm like, I spent $10,000 on this shit.
Yeah.
I have to maintain it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Like, and I would do it again. And they say it should last up to 10 years.
Okay.
So I'm like $10,000 for 10 years. And it is a procedure that you can do again. It's not like, so I guess maybe it's not as recommended if you have like actual facelift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is minimally invasive. You're fully awake. Like, I showed you guys the pictures of what I looked like right after surgery as opposed to the
Yes.
next morning.
Right.
Like, very quick trip. Like, you only need, like, I did it on a Friday. I was back to work on Monday. Like, it was really simple. And part of the reason why it hurts so bad too is like they give you a prescription to like a medication to take to like calm you before the procedure, and they're supposed to give you 2 of those pills. For whatever reason, and I don't know why, the pharmacy mistakenly only gave me 1. And they're like, we think you'll be okay. No, I need all the meds.
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
all of them. So if I do it again, which I probably will, in 10 years or whenever, like, I need all the meds going into it. That's all I know.
Yeah.
All of it.
Okay, so Tara.
I just wanted to say there's a couple little things that I feel like are necessities for me. I have this 11 lines between my eyebrows, and this right one,
What do you mean 11 lines?
the line right there.
The lines
They're called
are
11
right there.
Why?
Where you
It
go
looks
like
like an
this.
11. There's 2 lines right there.
Yeah.
And 11.
They call them your 11.
Yeah,
You got it right there.
You
11.
got it right there.
I have
We
it
all
too.
have
Oh
it.
my God.
We all have it. Everybody
Yeah,
has
you make
11.
me feel more insecure.
No, we all have 11s. Like,
What do
you
you
go like
mean?
that. Like,
Yeah.
huh? You don't.
Oh, right
This
here.
right here.
Yeah,
These
okay,
lines. Those
Yeah,
lines.
yeah.
They're not that horrible.
Yeah, no,
No, everybody has.
But
them.
that's because I can do Botox. And I only do it, well, actually, I lied. I've done Botox 3 times, but the last time I went in, I told the lady, my biggest insecurity right now are my eyelids. What do they call?
They
like
call
hooded
hooded.
eyelids. So like I'm on the computer all day, 8 hours a day,
Yeah.
with my glasses,
Yeah.
and my eyes get so heavy, and the lids will hang almost to over my eyelashes.
Yeah.
Like they are touching my eyelashes because my eyes are so tired. Like
Yeah.
just from the glasses, just from the computer screen, just from working in general.
Yeah.
And so I have been doing Botox. I've done it 3 times, but the last time I went in, actually the second to the last time I went in, she did more Botox because she's like, oh, I could do this. And I'm like, perfect, let's do it. And then I came home and did some research and was like, she should have never done that.
Oh, really?
Like she should have never went past the beginning of my eyebrows because I have hooded eyelids, and that can make it worse. So when I went in the last time, I'm like, listen, I need to clear up some questions that I have for you, because the last person, which she no longer worked there, so I got a new doctor, and the doctor's like, oh yeah, we would never do that, but what I can tell you is we could do a couple injections here, like below your brows, on the corners, and it'll do an automatic lift on your brows, which is my biggest thing for myself are eyebrows. So that takes me to the next thing that I do is I get my eyebrows, obviously I get them waxed, but I've had them microbladed, and I've had them tattooed.
Isn't that the same
Microblading,
thing?
well no, because tattooing is with a tattoo gun, microblading is with a razor blade. Like they literally
Does
cut.
that shit really hurt? Like,
It doesn't hurt at all.
Really?
Because they numb it for like
Uh-huh.
30 minutes, and then you don't feel a damn thing.
Now I'm all up in your eyebrows.
Yeah.
Because like I want to have it done, but as a blonde, I'm like I only see.
You have to go to a blonde specialist.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Do
at
you guys wax, Brandy?
Yeah.
No, because I don't have any eyebrows to wax, bitch.
But
You don't just shave them?
I was a victim of the 90s. No,
Oh.
just over waxing.
Yeah.
So like I barely have any eyebrow hair at all. Like they
Yeah.
just don't grow anymore. And then I got mad and I'm like, Mom, why didn't you tell me? There's so much my mom never told me. I'm like, why didn't you tell me that like at a certain age you like lose your eyebrows and they just like they don't grow, like they stop growing.
Yeah. That actually brings up something that I want to ask. Especially you. But
Yeah.
I think me and you, not so much you probably. Maybe.
It's about boobs again.
No.
No, it's about hair.
As a young adult or teenager or growing up at all around your mom, did they ever teach you like moisturize, lotion?
Yeah, my mom did it.
No, right? So that's what
Really?
I figured y'all was good on that. But
I wasn't even
Like-
taught about flossing.
well, and that's
let
what I'm
alone
saying.
freaking
So
moisturize
that
me,
brings
nothing.
it back to I think maybe how we're parented, right? On how we deal with things later in life as far as insecurities. Because like I said, my mom was naked. I like to be naked. And I don't care who sees I'm naked. I don't care. Like when I first moved out to the country, I moved out to the country to be naked.
So you can be naked.
I told my husband forever, like, I just don't want neighbors 5 feet from me because I want to be naked. And he was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
He knows I'm a naked person.
Yeah.
He is now a naked person.
He loves being naked.
But I wanted to say, like, I was never taught about skincare, about moisturizer, about any of those things.
Yeah.
The generation now, like my daughter's always making sure she's moisturizing.
Can I tell you something about my whole life that I've lived? You probably don't know this. You probably don't know this. But your brother, Tommy, had this whole idea of how to tell how old a woman is. Can you guys guess how it is? You need to shut up, because you know.
Well, I know how you tell because I asked you.
Okay, then be quiet. Do you know?
Is it your hands?
Do you know?
She said.
Yeah.
That's what you told me.
So Tommy told me, maybe it wasn't me, maybe he's just talking. He said that if you look at a woman's hands, you know how old they are.
Baby, I moisturize them too.
And I look at my veins and my wrinkles, and I'm like, dang, these do not look like 20-year-old hands anymore.
My age spots.
No,
I got tan too.
So I looked at it, and like, I should have been suntanning or putting sunscreen on my hands all the time. So, young girls, put sunscreen on your hands, your chest, your face,
your neck,
everywhere.
5-minute call.
Do not let your skin get exposed to sun without sunscreen.
5-minute call. Last call for alcohol. Whatever. Do we have final 5-minute call?
Really gone that
that fast.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think the biggest thing is, for me, when I have my insecurities, I know, like today was very hard for me because this was my topic that I was supposed to come to and talk about. But I know at the end of the day, my girls were going to have my back and make me feel more comfortable. So I lean on them heavily to make me feel more confident. But, you know, I don't know. I love you guys.
I love you too.
It was a very hard week for me.
Aww.
And I love you guys so much for being there for me. And
Great way to end. Hard week.
I feel like
look, we got to just get past our insecurities.
Yeah.
We need to love ourselves. We need to not be scared to be on TikTok or take selfies, because I'll be the first person to tell you that you ain't gonna find a selfie of me.
me too. I don't like TikTok. I don't like selfies.
These pictures
I
be
don't
on
like
lives.
pictures.
These pictures be on everything.
I know. I want
But
your guys' confidence.
Now, again, I started that journey. Actually, I started my TikTok journey to get over my insecurities from my ex, right? Because if we're going to get it, like, seriously, when we split up, he started dating a 29-year-old woman. A woman who was the same age as our oldest daughter.
Mine is with a 31-year-old and had a little baby.
Right. So if you want to talk about, every reason to be insecure, and I had to stop and go, wait, no, there's nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with you. Like, that's a you thing.
Yeah.
Because for me, baby, I'm going to put it on your head.
We have to get shirts.
We are getting shirts.
Shirts.
We're getting shirts.
Put it on his head.
100%.
I'm done.
I love you.
I think that I think at the end of the day, like, no, insecurities don't go away. Some get better, some don't. You learn how to manage, but no matter what, if you've got like core humans that love and support you, like that's key. Like that's key.
Love the shit out of yourself.
Yeah.
And when you can't do it, we do it for you.
And that's why I'm here, because I wanted to run away.
Does anybody, like, I have like a hype song. Y'all know what my hype song is. Do you have like a hype? That helps me with my insecurities, because I'm like literally singing it about myself. Like I'm like, on the way over here it came on.
Do you want to know the only reason? I'm going to tell you
the
guys
songs.
right now, the only reason I did come here today was I was washing my floor on my hands and knees today, and I was listening to Anthony Hamilton, Pass Me Over. And it just like brought me back to just feeling about myself. And then it made me think about you guys. And I just was like, I have to show up.
I love
I
you.
have to do it, you know? And it was just like, I'm more of like a sad song type of person that makes me feel like appreciate the people that love you. And life's not that serious, and who cares about looks and all that kind of stuff. So real raw stuff like Pass Me Over made me just feel like love is different than what I'm thinking love should be. And I need to remember that.
We have a lot of love.
I'm opposite.
Same.
I'm
You're
rocking
like-
like the nastiest.
Hood rat, hoochie mama.
My bag. You know,
I'm
Then
my
I cry.
Put it on
Hey,
there.
don't get me wrong. I'll get down and do that too.
I am
but-
Shannon Blake, bad bitch energy. 100% through and through. Are you kidding me?
Who's Shannon Blake?
Oh my god, that's gonna be the new theme song. Oh my god. I am gonna play this for you. And every time you start picking on yourself, I'm gonna be like, bitch, play the song. Play the song.
What kind of music is it?
She's just, we'll play it after the podcast.
Okay.
You guys, if you
All right.
have not checked out Shannon Blake's Bad Bitch Energy, go and love yourself, listen to it, and own that shit. In the meantime, we will be back next week. It's my turn. We're gonna have some astrological fun, so
Oh.
definitely
Right? It's
make
up
sure
for
you join in. And thank you for everyone who
Wednesdays
came.
at 6. Wednesdays at 6.
Wednesdays at 6.
Rooted with Tara.
Hump day. Can you press stop? Thank you. Good job.
Go team!
How did it feel?
Seashell, we didn't even need
Put it on his
questions.
forehead.
No, I didn't.
Put it on
That's
his
why I said
forehead.
let's just go with the flow.
I'm
didn't.
dying.
But I
Stop.
knew
What
that
was
you guys
going
were
on?
gonna make it great. That's
You
why I
didn't
said
stop?
that. If I didn't
You
have
didn't let
confidence
me.
in you guys,
Look.
I would never came.
I don't know what that is.
Drag the puzzle piece. They want to make sure. Oh, nope.
Some little
Drag.
golden
Oh.
nugget
Oh, I got
magic always happens.
No, I
Look at
actually
you. Oh, you're not a bot.
Bam.
Okay, I see.
Unable.
Now I gotta
What do you mean? How many times you gonna make me drag this
That's what I
puzzle
said.
piece?
That's what I said.
What?
Oh